Hey folks, Fernando doing a video for More Survivalists. Man, it is a sad day for freedom-loving people around the world. Canada just banned freedom weapons for its population. Freedom weapons such as this one, like an AR-15 or like my FAL over there. Yes, freedom weapons, what douches like Justin Trudeau call military-style firearms. That's exactly what it is. It's an attempt of the left of making these things look evil or nasty or bad in some way. You know what that's called? The FAL? That's the right arm of the free world. That's a beautiful name. But these guys stand for the exact opposite of the right arm of the free world. They are the opposite of freedom and liberty. They are oppression and tyranny. And that's exactly what Justin Trudeau is. I mean, I like the guy. The guy looks like a nice fellow to have a beer and chit chat a little bit, like a little rascal. Sure, he's a little bit of a racist, having done blackface like 3 times. He's a little bit of a woman beater as well, having elbowed a woman and a lawmaker in the Canadian Senate in camera. Just think about the kind of things he does to women when he's not being filmed. So, well, he kind of does this thing, right? He's quite a bit of a douche. He's quite a bit of a person that stands against freedom for people. But it's not really his fault, is it? Because the world is full of douches and bastards that want to take freedom away from you. The problem is when they get elected. The problem is the Canadian people managed to get that guy in office. Now, I have some great followers in my channel from Canada, and I feel for you folks. I really do. I get emails, correspond with guys from Canada. Fantastic folks, always super polite, and many of them, very avid gun owners and such. But man, when you fail as a nation, when you get someone like that in power, and you just did not see it coming. Justin Trudeau just said you don't need an AR-15 to hunt deer. This is not about hunting deer. This is not even about self-defense. This is about tyranny. It's very simple. Tyrannic governments historically have banned guns like this one or the gun like the one over there. Sure, they may allow you to have like a target shooting 22 or some shotgun so as to go bird hunting and for a second pretend you're actually a free citizen, but you're not. The moment you don't have the right to own something like this or the right to own something like that over there, you're not really a free citizen anymore. You're a subject of whatever power is ruling over you. That's what just happened in Canada. That's what happened in Australia as well. What happened in New Zealand. Man, there's so many countries that in the last few years have lost so many of their freedoms. And some guys kind of nasty, laughing about it. I see it in some of the forums. Dude, if you're American and you think this is just a big joke, oh, look at those stupid Canadians losing their gun rights. Laugh when it's happening to Australia, laugh when it's happening in New Zealand, laugh now it's happening to your next door neighbor. I don't know if you're going to be laughing so much if it happens to you. And these things spread like a freaking disease. It becomes normalized, and soon enough, it's become so normal that it's happening in your background, and then it's happening to you as well. It's already happening literally in your background. So I don't think it's anything to joke about, laugh about. It is quite serious. There's still hope. There's countries that have, just like countries have lost some of their liberties, some of the more important key ones, there's countries that have become very strong about maintaining them, like Czech Republic, a country that made it part of their constitution, a basic right of their people to own guns. And Czechs don't own guns for sport. They own those for self-defense. They own those for freedom. Right? That's a big difference. When you allow this narrative of, yeah, we're just fooling around with these fun little things. We just like practicing sports, go duck hunting, bird hunting, shooting deer. We use it for, no. When you beat around the bush with that sort of bullshit, then a bastard like Justin Trudeau comes around and says, okay, for your stupid little sport, you don't need those guns anymore. You have to be upfront and honest about these things. These things, this is about freedom. This is about freedom tools. When you allow freedom tools to be banned, there's very little freedom you have left. Now, when you're not upfront, when you're dishonest, when you try to justify your rights in an indirect manner of, no, I just need this, or I need that FAL over there because of historic reasons, or because I hunt with it. A bastard like Justin Trudeau will come around and tell you, okay, you can hunt with a bolt-action rifle, and if you want that for historic purposes, then you can have it destroyed, all the internals, and have it just the carcass of the gun, or a replica that doesn't actually work. You can keep that for historic museum reasons. When you're indirect about it, you lose your rights. When you're upfront about, don't screw with my rights, dude, don't mess with my freedom because I'm not going to be allowing that, then you're changing the narrative. Then you're making it quite clear that the guy that wants to take this away from you wants to take freedom away from you, and not just a hobby or a silly sport that you can do or not do without, but at the end of the day, it's more important to save lives. That's the angle they're going to be going for. Right. When the public sees saving lives versus going duck hunting or deer hunting or whatever, man, there's going to be no comparison. It's always going to be lives, saving lives. Now, when you go about, this is about freedom, then if it's about freedom, saving lives, then how many lives are you willing to exchange for how much freedom? That becomes a very different conversation. That's a conversation that we all should have around the world, no matter where you live. This is about my freedom. You want to take away my freedom? Okay, let's talk about that. How are you expecting to do that? Right? And why are you doing that? Why are you taking away my freedom? Not my sport, not my hobby, not my target shooting, fun with the guys. You're taking away my freedom. Why do you want to do that? For what reason? Why do you want to turn us into Cuba, into Venezuela, into freaking North Korea? Why do you want to turn us into these crappy places where people have no rights? And that's the conversation you should be having. All right, no matter where you live, no matter what country you live, that's at the end of the day that's what this is all about. So guys, that's gonna be all for now. For you folks in Canada, you want to get my book Street Survival Skills, which will inform you as of a few things you want to keep in mind for the future scenario you're likely to see in your country. All right, some of the things that unfortunately you may have to end up doing so as to protect yourself, as it unavoidably happens when guns are taken away from law-abiding citizens. Right, criminals, they don't follow the law. Criminals, they still have their guns because they don't follow the law. By definition, they're criminals. So you will want to have means of defending yourself in spite of the authoritarian government disarming you and taking away your liberty. It's going to be going hand to hand with criminals also taking advantage of said situation. They always do. It has happened in Venezuela. As soon as guns were removed from law-abiding citizens, guess who got the guns? Criminals. In the case of Venezuela, it's quite interesting. Criminals directly got guns thanks to the government. And this is no lost in translation thing. Look it up. There's a minister of freedom and liberty and gender equality bullshit in Venezuela. Now she came with this very bright idea that says to put prisoners to good use. A good idea of hers was to release them from prison, give them AR-15s like this one, and have them fight for the regime. The soldados de la patria, patriotic soldiers, basically people that kill the opposition to the regime. That is literally what has been happening in Venezuela for the last couple of years. If you don't believe me, look it up. I think it was like 3,000 criminals, convicted felons in jail, released from jail, handed over a firearm like this, a rifle, so as to defend the country, the nation, or better said, the regime, by attacking the opposition that were trying to rid the country from said regime. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Sad day. Stay aware of what's happening around the world, because it's important. We see these things happening here, there, all of a sudden it's happening to you as well. See you in the next video. Have an awesome day.